Welcome back to Squawk Box. Breaking news this morning: the CDC and the FDA calling for a pause in the use of the J&J COVID vaccine after rare blood clotting issues in a small number of people that received the vaccine. Joining us now, House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy. And I know you're glued to CNBC when you're not basically doing nothing in Congress. No, I'm kidding. It's not really just you that we're talking about there. But when you're not doing your normal job, you are watching. Leader, what did you make of that news? And it's very early. And how does it change the dynamic of, I've been talking about, of the infrastructure bill and whether we do this immediately and pay for it?
Well, let's first talk about what you've been talking about all morning, been listening. I have a lot of respect for Dr. Gottlieb. And I think when you put it in perspective, the FDA did the appropriate measure. Let's make sure to tell all the medical community across America, if somebody's coming into you and they have a clot, let's make sure we're looking, did they get a J&J shot within the last 2 weeks? But we also should look in perspective that you're talking about those stocks that are with travel and others. There will still be 20 million Americans this week who get vaccinated with a Pfizer or Moderna. We are at that point that I believe America is going to be willing and at that position to be able this summer to be traveling again. You're going to see it more and more. And this is what the America has been able to do with Operation Warp Speed, to have more than one vaccine, to have more than 2 vaccines. And that's why we're in a different position than other countries in going forward. Yeah. But it is appropriate, and we do need to have more information on the Johnson & Johnson and know what's going on with those. But we have 2 others that have been used more throughout. Now, when it comes to infrastructure, it seems as though Biden's administration is good at naming a bill. It just doesn't carry out what it said it will do. Less than 6% of this bill goes to roads, highways, or bridges. That's not an infrastructure bill. This is a tax increase bill. This is a bill that makes America less competitive. It raises the corporate rate. But it doesn't just raise the corporate rate. Remember what the corporate rate does. States also add another corporate rate on top of that 28%. On average, more than 4%. But if you're in California, it's even higher. And the answer by President Biden is to ask other countries to raise their taxes. That's hilarious that that's their answer for America to be competitive. Again, they're making our adversaries stronger and making America less competitive.
Let's say that we decide that we want to do infrastructure, and let's say we double what we call infrastructure. We'll add broadband, add bolstering the grid, add some of those things, and double it. Can you make the case now that the economy? You're making a case the economy is pretty strong, I think, and maybe doesn't need a lot more stimulus. Then it should be able to handle at least some increased taxes somewhere. If it's not corporate, somewhere, should we raise some revenue and pay for these much-needed infrastructure? Some of the ones that are covered in your 6% or 12 or 15% of the bill. Would you be okay with that? Would a negotiation get you there?
Joe, if it was an infrastructure bill, Republicans would be at the table ready to go. We are ready to go at the table. Unfortunately, President Biden doesn't believe in talking to any Republicans. I've never spoken to him since he's been president. I've requested meetings with him to talk about the border. He ignores that. I requested meetings that could we do a COVID bill like we did in the last administration, bipartisan, 5 of them. No, we need to go it alone. That same thing is happening today. I think America's stronger when we work together. I think America's stronger when we solve problems. The way we solve problems is we sit down at a table, we identify them, and we work together. Not everyone's going to get 100% of what they want, but I will promise you this. Republicans will be at the table and will solve the problem moving forward with better ideas.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.